Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna show you this delicious treat that you can make for the holidays. You could do it for Thanksgiving or Christmas or sometime when you get the munchies. Okay, these are really good, super easy, and likely you already have the ingredients in your house. Very likely, actually. The only thing you might actually have to step out to buy is the plantain. Super delicious. These are some sweet fried plantain balls. Delicious. If you want to know how to make this, stick around and I'm going to show you. Thanksgiving is in 2 weeks and Christmas is right around the corner, so make this for your family and your friends. Okay, if you want to skip out on the apple pie, I know it's tradition. If you want to eat pie, if you must eat pie, fine, but make this. Try this. That's something different. So you'll need sweet plantain. You need plantain, sweet plantain that are fully ripe. So you'll need 3 of them, and we're gonna boil them for 10 minutes with some salt. You don't have to peel them. Just cut them up. Make sure you wash them first, obviously. Cut them up and put them to boil for 10 minutes with a little bit of salt. Not too much, like a teaspoon of salt. Okay. If you are not following me on Instagram, I highly suggest you follow me there because I do share some really crazy recipes on IG that are different than YouTube. Instagram is where I share my wild creativity. YouTube, I keep it traditional, I keep it simple, but IG is where I share things like I just made a John bagel. So if you want to know how I made that, go check it out. So once the plantain or I've done cooked, remove the skin and transfer it to a bowl while it's hot, and we're gonna mash it. And when you're mashing it, you're gonna mash it all the way through, and then try to remove the core. Since this plantain is ripe, it might not have big cores, but try to remove the core from it, the plantain, and then add 2 tablespoons of butter so that way it could melt really fast. If it's cold by then, just melt 2 tablespoons of butter and throw it in there. Go ahead and mash that plantain all the way through. As I was saying, if you're not following me on Instagram, you should definitely go there because I do actually have some really nice recipes on there. But if you are following me on there as well, thank you. And if you're not following me on TikTok, you should also step out there. I try to do, because I do realize my audiences are different on all my platforms, so I try to cater to each audience. If you want something different, go to Instagram or TikTok, even Facebook. I try to do something different, but this is not my full-time job, so I can only do so much. But yeah, check me out on there, and thank you so much for being subscribed and watching this video. I really appreciate that. See, I've removed the core, and this recipe is really delicious. It's super easy, it doesn't take that long, and you don't, like I said, the stuff you already have at home, it doesn't take too long. And it was really delicious. I'm not gonna lie, like I ate this whole thing by myself. Okay, so once you've mashed the potatoes, the plantain, you've added the butter. For the seasoning, we're gonna now, once you've done the seasoning, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the spices. For the spices, you will need lime zest, ground nutmeg. I like to use freshly ground nutmeg. The bottle stuff, the pre-grounded stuff is not the same, but if that's what you have on hand, it's fine to use it. But I highly suggest you just have your nutmeg at home and then you grate it by yourself. It's kind of like cheese, pre-grounded cheese is not the best. So, and you're going to use orange zest. Okay, so you need 1 whole lime, you zest the whole thing, and then an orange, you zest the orange as well. And then you'll need a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of almond extract. Once you've added all the spices, go ahead and give it a stir. And for sugar, this one you can add, you can use your discretion. For me, I could eat sweet. I love sweet. I have a sweet tooth. I added a 1/4 cup of sugar. You don't need a lot of sugar because the plantain is already sweet, so you don't want too much. So really use your discretion. If you're someone who loves sweet, then add a little bit more sugar, but I use light brown sugar. Be sure to use light brown sugar as well. If you're someone who doesn't like too much sugar, then maybe just 4 tablespoons of sugar might be sufficient for you. But for me, I did a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar because the plantain is already sweet and you don't want to have too much sweet. If it's too sweet, it's not healthy. And when I'm making a healthy recipe, I get that, but it's also, you don't want to use too much sugar, right? So use your discretion when it comes to the sugar. And then go ahead and add half a cup of, I said orv. I'm sorry. Add half a cup of all-purpose flour. You need the flour to give it that little crunch and help everything stick together. And we're also gonna add 1 whole egg. So once you add your spices, add the flour, the sugar, and the egg, and give it a nice mix. And then we're gonna shape the balls before frying it. We're frying it, by the way. And if you don't want to fry it, you know, maybe you could try to air fry it. I didn't try that option, but I'm sure it would be actually fine to air fry it, you know, because they weren't crunchy, so you're not gonna find a crunch. Just that beautiful golden brown you get. Oh, you know, frying, everything that's fried tastes better. So everything that is fried tastes better. Oh, by the way, I added a teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so follow with me. I'll write it in the description box below, actually. And you add your egg, and then you're gonna give it a nice mix. Add the flour, give it a beautiful mix, and then ta-da! So the flour is gonna give you that dough, give you that, you know, that shape that you want the dough. So you can add cornstarch if you don't want to add flour. The cornstarch might give it a little crisp, but not really, because it's, you know, it's sweet plantain. Yeah, it's not gonna have that much of a crisp crunch. And mix it well until you get a dough, and you'll see the dough. And when you're forming the balls, you're gonna wanna have your hands wet, so that way they don't stick, because it's really gonna stick. You can, even if you're using gloves, which you can, you still want the gloves to be wet, so that way the plantain, the flour, the dough doesn't stick to your finger. So every time you're making the ball, try to have your hands wet to form it, to roll it, so it could stay clean. And every time you make a ball, place it in a plate that has flour, so that way it doesn't stick. You see that my hands are wet, and then just form the ball. These were about the size of a golf ball, if not smaller. Honestly, I think they were smaller than that, but you see the size, right? This is like the marble's too small, but what can I compare this to? What kind of ball? I don't know, like, what kind of ball can I compare this? What size, what kind of thing? Like a key lime. Yep, like a key lime, like a little key lime, you know, like a little key lime. So form the dough, form the little ball with your hands wet, and then place it in a plate that has flour, that's coated with flour, so that way it doesn't burn, right? And then once you do that to all the dough, and then we're gonna fry it. And to fry it, you can use vegetable oil. I used canola oil to fry it, but feel free to use whatever you want. And as I mentioned earlier, air fryer is another option, or maybe roasting it could be a great option as well. Doesn't necessarily have to fry it, but you know, everything fried tastes better. And so I'm always gonna highly suggest that you fry it. And we're not making a healthy recipe, a healthy dish, right? So it don't really matter. But try the air fryer. If you do try the air fryer, let me know, because I actually want to try this again in the air fryer. I am actually going to try this again in the air fryer and see how it is, instead of, you know, frying. Let me tell you, I love cooking, but I don't like to fry. Even though I like fried food, I don't like to fry because I don't like the smell of frying in the house. I absolutely despise the smell of frying. When I'm frying, I make sure all the doors are closed, like my kitchen door is open, the windows open. And then you know what I do? I take like blankets or like towels and put under the door, so that way the smell doesn't get into my room more. Because I hate the smell. Like the smell sticks to your clothes and I don't like it. Like I hate when I'm like step out of my house and I can smell that stuff on my clothes. Oh, I do not like to fry. If I'm frying, that's why I like to have a balcony wherever I live in an apartment, so that way I can fry outside, because I don't want to fry in my house. I do not like it. And one of my cousins, my other cousins, my baby, he loves fried chicken sandwich. Like he loves that. Every time his birthday, this is what I gotta make for him. His birthday just passed on the 5th, I'm going to Boston in a couple weeks. I can't wait. I'm excited to see my family, and I'm gonna make him fried chicken sandwich because that's what he wants for his birthday. So anyways, back to the story, back to the recipe. Once you form your balls and fry it on medium high heat for 3 to 5 minutes until they're golden brown, you know, until they're golden brown. And then, you know, after that, remove it from the oil, place it on a paper towel so that way the paper towel, you know, the oil could absorb from the thing, that way you don't eat too much fat. You know, we like to balance things over here. You know, I like to eat everything. I love the idea of being able to eat whatever I want whenever I want. I want to be, that's why I balance what I eat. Like, I'll eat healthy most of the time, so that way I can have a little treat. I can treat myself, you know, because sometimes this food are good for the soul, you know what I mean? Like, it's not nourishing, but you know, you eat it and you'll feel a little bit of comfort. So it's good to balance, you know, you don't eat junk every time, you know. Yeah, anyways, so once you fry these for 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, until they are beautiful golden brown. Like I said, they're not gonna have a crunch on them. They're not. Don't think they're gonna have a crunch. They're not. And then remove it from the heat, place it on the paper towel, and ta-da, and then fry the remaining. And what I did with this, you could eat it just like that, but one thing I did, I sprinkled a little bit of cremasse. I sprinkled some cremasse on it and top it off with some almond, walnuts. If you have walnuts, pecans, I have pecans. I use some pecans. I crushed some pecans and some cremasse. You know, if you don't have cremasse, you could use Baileys. If you don't have cremasse, use Baileys. The Irish cream, I think that's what it's called. I don't know, something like that. But if you don't have cremasse, use the Baileys, the Baileys drink. Use that. And then some nuts, some almond. If you have almond, you can use almond instead, or the pecans. And then, you know, grate some lime zest or orange zest on top. Oh my lord, when I tell you that thing was good, you see how beautiful it looks? It was good. It's a really nice treat for the holidays. And I hope you do make it. And if you do make it, please let me know. Yeah, and this is it for the recipe, you guys. It's pretty easy and simple. If you do make it, let me know. I hope that you do. With the holidays coming, impress your family. Try something different, you know? Try something different instead of the normal, boring apple pie. Actually, I love a pecan pie. Listen, if I go to Thanksgiving, pecan pie, pumpkin pie, I'm eating those too. Especially the pecan pie. I'm not a big fan of apple pie, honestly. I'm not really a big fan at all. Like, I like the crust, but that's about it. I'm not a fan of apple pie. Not like that. The pecan pie though, I will eat the whole thing by myself if you allow me to. If you let me, if you give it to me, I will. That was the point of my time. I ate a whole pecan pie by myself, and after that I sat there and I looked at myself and I'm like, I was so disgusted. I really have a bad sweet tooth. Like, I'll miss out on dinner so I can just have my sweets. But yeah, I was disgusted myself. I'm like, how dare you sit and eat that? Like, you're literally killing yourself. How dare you? I was disgusted with myself, and ever since then I vowed to only eat like 2 slices. You know, I'm kidding. I'll still eat the whole pecan pie if it comes. But yeah, this is the recipe, you guys. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you made it this far in this video, leave an apple pie emoji. Leave a pie emoji or a cake emoji if you made it to this far in this video. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to turn your post notifications so that way you can get alerted whenever I upload a new recipe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.